Hello, my name is Malcom Wilson. I am a third year undergraduate theater major at UCLA, and I am the lighting designer for A Room Full of Normal. So a bit about me is that I have been doing theater for most of my life. I started when I was 8 and went through high school mostly acting. However, my first 2 years of high school, I was more introduced into more like doing theater, like technical side of theater. And so I worked on lighting mostly because I wanted to go into the catwalks, but then I really started to enjoy programming or hanging and focusing, and kind of like moved my trajectory that way. And I did act a bit, but I did more tactical side after that because I also cannot sing to save my life. And so I kind of started doing that, and then I moved again, and my new high school didn't really have a big program, and so because I had a lot of experience and I had a new theater, I kind of like took over and was a lot more active and kind of like doing it with a much smaller group of myself and my friend in our TD. And so it was kind of like a great kind of opportunity to grow. And I started really enjoying doing like events and shows. And I got an internship that led to a job, which led to another job, and later on another one. And that kind of like increased my interest and love for doing this kind of work. And so I applied to school, got into UCLA for theater, and once I started university, I started doing shows with like student groups and organizations and my department, and also outside shows as well. And it was assisting or designing or being an electrician for these kind of shows. And I started learning quite a lot, and then COVID happened. And so after COVID, as a lot of us kind of did, it was kind of like trying to figure out where we were going and what we exactly wanted to do with this time we had. And so for me, it was trying to learn different programs and different techniques and that I could apply now or also later on in the future. And so one of the shows I was working as this kind of happened was like an immersive theater project. And we were using the Unreal game engine, and so I started learning how to use that, and I learned a lot more about it over the next few months and into the fall when I did another show in Unreal. And so for A Room Full of Normal, I kind of wanted to take that experience and knowledge that I had and applied it to this show in my own way and kind of like build upon what I already know and kind of do it on my own, unlike a team that I was used to before. And so that's kind of how I wanted to approach this and create this kind of like concept render and then a cinematic after as the final result of it. And so I kind of like read the script a couple times in each iteration because it is a new work and there were multiple versions of it, and trying to figure out how exactly I wanted to do it and what I wanted to focus on in my lighting and work. And so once I got the set, I quickly got to work and put it into this game environment and kind of lit it that way. And I tried to figure out what I wanted to focus on in this 2-character show and kind of like apply it. And so one of the things I wanted was kind of like a warm atmosphere for these 2 characters and a more cooler, distant one around them. And that also allowed me to kind of like help push it into when it was recorded in Zoom and kind of like keep that thread going. And so it was a bit tricky because you have to like kind of like balance different things, and when you're paring it down for Zoom from your like original concept, if you could do it in person. And so I try to find those kind of threads that I can keep on going. And it's also kind of interesting because you have to like walk through with the actors and other people kind of like what you're doing, because you can't just do them because everyone's in these squares. And so it was it's a bit of a learning curve, but I've gotten used to it over the course of like the last year, as a lot of us have. And so I kind of kept on going and growing from that kind of experience. And so I tried to figure these things out and learn different things about it and learn how to do it on my own and kind of like grow from it. And so I think I was once told kind of how when choosing a show, like do it for the money, do it for the people you're working with, or do it for the show. Always have it for 2 of those things. I think something else that could be added, or something that you should just do on your own, is try to figure out a way you can grow from it and learn from it. So for me, this show, like I said, it was trying to figure out kind of like something new that I could do on my own and then I could apply it later on. And so that was working more in Unreal for these kind of like concept ideas, which can really show how it might look in a real environment. And that was my kind of like thing that I wanted to try to achieve and learn from that. And so I think, like, as advice, I guess, try to find what that new thing you want to work on is, because if you're just kind of like practicing over and over again, it will get kind of stale. And so trying to figure out what that thing is you want to try to learn how to do. But overall, I say I was successful with that and had a good time, and I hope you really enjoy the show. We all worked very hard on it. So, thank you.